Alright guys, so tonight we are going to look at game replay here for K2silver, and right now we're in game. We are looking at his perspective. Basically, he was talking to me on stream the other night saying, man, like these Terrans, right? These drop Terrans, right? The ones that come in, they got you running around your base, got you going all over hell trying to defend, right? So I'm going to talk about this game a little bit. I'm going to talk about kind of defending against the style, playing against the style a little bit while we kind of watch from his perspective. And let me kind of preface this by saying too, I do not have all the answers here. This is going to be me kind of doing my best here to talk through kind of some of my thoughts, things that I've seen work and not work for myself. But look, the reality is I am barely higher ranked than K2silver is. He, I believe, just hit Plat. I've been struggling to stay in Plat 2 for the past couple of weeks here, so I definitely don't have all the answers. PvT is my worst matchup as well. But I do have kind of some thoughts. So the first thing is like, okay, yes, this type of play is annoying here. Let's go a little bit faster. Let's just kind of take a look. Right, this opponent is just all over K2silver the whole game. K2silver had his own plan. He's got this proxy pylon to the gate set up. He's got a couple war prisons on the map. He had ambitions of, it looks like, kind of being aggressive with some glaive adepts in this game. And instead, it's this game of cat and mouse the whole time against an opponent's entrenched position here. Actually, kind of a weird... I don't play Catalina. I hate the map. I have it banned, so I don't know if this is like a normal thing or not. To me, this looks like a weird position to take. Like, okay, having secured this, right? Why do you not just pick these bad boys up and put them here? But I guess maybe it's to be able to run in and out, right? Either way, so okay, you've kind of seen enough to get the idea here of what this opponent is doing to us. So let's just kind of break down some stuff about this. And again, I don't have all the answers. This is just me kind of observing, basically peer-to-peer here with K2silver, because like I say, I am very, very barely higher ranked. But, okay, so the cool thing is when you're at the level that K2silver and I are at, basically improving is a choose-your-own-adventure book, right? So you can kind of just pick which way of getting better feels the most fun to you. And there are a lot of avenues, right? You don't need to commit to one, pick one, and do it forever. You can be like, okay, today this is the avenue that feels fun to improve in, right? So a very simple one, and I'm going to be the first to admit, I went and checked my own VOD, or my own replay rather, right after I watched this game for the first time, and I am just as guilty of what I'm about to show you. Maybe not quite as guilty in the early game, but certainly when pressured, I do the exact same thing. So this is kind of the brute force solution. We're going to go in scope. I've got three kind of different solution types to talk about here, or improvement types, because I don't know that it's going to solve the PvT issue. It's an issue for me too, but three different avenues, right? And we're going to go from the most broad and general down, scoping down to the more specific things to PvT. So the most general of things that we can possibly improve is this, right? So we're going to look at this and we're going to see, okay, well, let's not be making Mothership Core, hang on. All right, so now we're on probes, right? Mothership Core is made. And we're just going to see how long are we sitting idle, right? So we're sitting idle. Okay, now we got probes going. And now I'm going to look at both Nexi because we have the natural out, right? And what we don't want to see is these go dark at any point. And I'm going to watch it. I'll watch it at normal speed just to make the point, right? Let's see if I can maybe speed us up and then kind of slow us down, because I don't want it to look like more or less than it is, right? So we're doing okay, right? Because we're not getting pressured. We're kind of at our normal plan here. We're at our normal plan. We got probes in there, and you can see K2silver's making sure I queue up another one before my probes finish. And this is awesome. This is great, right? This is what we want to be doing. Okay, and at some point here, we're going to start getting pressured, and it's going to fall off. Okay, so we got some dead time. Right? No probes making another one of these bad boys. Okay, now we caught it, right? Good. We got ourselves fixed up. I might have picked a little bit too early to start watching this, but we'll just kind of go through it and see. You'll see that like he's got it down pretty well in the early game, right? A couple little slips here and there, nothing crazy. Let's maybe fast forward. Is this the drop? No. Okay, let's go a little bit deeper into the game. We'll see there's like these minor little bits of dead time. Okay, that was a pretty bad one because that was 8x and was perceptible time for us, right? Let's keep watching. Okay, so this move out is starting to happen, right? And now we see this dead time already happen before I paused. The reason why that dead time is happening is K2silver is making stuff. He is gearing up for this big swell of gates and this proxy attack, right? So he was down here, he's making some gates, making some stuff here. So why don't we go ahead and hop back to his vision so that you see what's happening, right? Mind you, we've been dead on our next side for a while now. We have the money for pros. Cool? Okay, so let's keep watching. All right, so we're doing stuff, getting ready. All right, I want to build a robo. Got to get that in order because I want to get some warp prism on the map. Okay, oh crap, I need to make preps. All right, so we made our preps. Crap, all right, we're trying to scout. Trying to scout. All right, let's see what's going on. Saturation at the natural's not that good. Okay. All right, now we got dead time again. Shoot, okay, what do I need to do? I've got my gateways making, I've got my robo making, and I've got dead time in my nexus. All right, I need a swell of gates. I've got a lot of money, right? So it's like K2silver's brain's going. We're not sitting idle. We're doing stuff. But we don't have our nexi producing, and it's because we're trying to enact our plan, right? This is totally understandable. This is fine. This is normal, right? When you're silver, gold, platinum, bronze, right? So like I said before, I do this too. I'm just as guilty, particularly when I'm getting pressured, right? And if we continue to watch this throughout the game, especially when K2silver's like trying to cling to life and defend and whatever, the pro production just falls off completely. And I do the same thing, right? This is an avenue that we can improve. So we could say, the hell with defending drop Terrans, the hell playing against Terran, I'm just going to get better and stronger at my own game of playing Protoss, right? I'm just going to have more workers and more stuff, and I don't care what your plan is, right? That's one way that we can get better. We could do that basically in an empty game or maybe against a really hard AI or something, right? So that's one way. Some people think it's kind of boring, some people think it's kind of relaxing. For me, I kind of alternate between the two. So that's just one option. Another thing that we can do, so if we keep clicking, if we keep watching through this game, right, we're going to get this robo. Now we're getting pressured already, right? And the first thing that we do is we make this ops. Awesome. This is super good because what I'm assuming K2silver wants to do here is like, let me just get some vision. Let me pop this ops out in front, right? So that I can see the move out. So let me put it right here so that I kind of see the drop path, or maybe up here in case they try to go around weird, right? So we try to get some vision. Okay, but what happens? Well, we get kind of screwed because either our opponent is some kind of savant and somehow sees this, or they scan for vision. I'm not quite clear. I mean, maybe this opponent's just really good at seeing observers, right? I would imagine that this opponent's gold. I would imagine that at gold, you're probably not good enough to see that. But who knows? Maybe this opponent really likes killing observers or something, right? Okay, so our observer dies and that sucks, right? Now, what we do is we make 2 prisms. And this I don't like. The reason I don't like it is we've already got this bad boy out here, right? And maybe we want the proxy and a prism, but I don't think that we want 2. And I haven't talked to K2silver about this game, so I don't know if this was the plan or if this was a panic thing because there's so much going on where it's just like an accidental double tap and it's like, oh crap, well I have 2 prisms, I might as well put them on the map. I'm just kind of assuming based on the opening, right? We wanted to get glaive adepts. We wanted to have a big swell of gateways, right? I'm kind of putting words in his mouth here. But it looks like it's get glaive adepts, big swell of gateways, proxy pylon, make stuff, Terran dies. And I got to imagine, you know, when K2silver was going up through Gold League, he's probably crushing nerds with this, right? And then we have this problem of people who hit before K2silver is hitting, right? So it's kind of throwing us off plan. So back to kind of my second solution, right? I don't love this. I think what we needed to do, if we want to play kind of the defensive game against this type of Terran, is we've got to get the observers out on the map. And And so we kind of can pick and choose how we do that. So that's one problem, is the map vision. Another problem is just the way that our stuff is laid out. So the opponent is pushing in and attacking these buildings the whole game, right? And that makes sense, right? We're kind of lucky that the opponent never goes for this pylon. They're probably afraid of the overcharge, I'm guessing. They could be dropping back here and killing pros instead of like killing a gateway. And we're super vulnerable to that. And I believe later in the game, a Liberator actually does come in here. We can check that out. We've got a big swell of gates here and the double pylon. I don't have an issue with this kind of placement, except for... okay, maybe I misspoke there. I don't like where this is, but I don't mind doing the double pylon in a bunch of buildings. I actually think that that makes sense. So I think if it were me, what I would have done is not do this, right? Now I've got a pylon at home here. And maybe I've got another gateway here or whatever. And instead of doing this swell of gates here, I would do them in my main, put the double pylon like here, and all of my stuff. So now I've got, instead of like a bit of stuff here, a bit of stuff here, and then double pylon reinforcement, but without it being surrounded by buildings. Also, it's kind of in my way if I'm trying to fight a super mobile Terran. I would rather have, okay, so we take this pylon, and we move it here. We take all of these gates, right, and we move them here. So now you have a pylon at the front, fine. We don't do this either. We put a pylon here. So I've got 2 at my natural. I've got the 3 around my main. And I've got double pylons around all my stuff, right? There might be some map-specific stuff to Catalina that I don't understand, where you don't want to necessarily build it all right here because of this weird tank bullcrap. But even so, like, you could tuck it back further so it's more out of range. I'm not even sure if this is like a legit strat or not. But regardless, something like that I think is how I would lay it out. I don't mind getting the 1 prism then if we don't have the proxy. But I certainly wouldn't get the second one. I don't feel, and maybe K2silver's playstyle is just sufficiently different and the things he's good at are different enough. I don't feel like I can micro 2 prisms. And if we actually watch this game, right, so this first prism comes out, right, and he's going to move it to right here. Right, let's watch that happen. So, we move the prism out, right, it's moving, prism's moving, prism's moving, prism's moving. Okay, prism parks here. This prism hangs out here the entire game. Now, that is, again, not a condemnation of K2silver. K2silver is dealing with this garbage, right? He's dealing with this lady coming in, trying to wreck his worker's day, right? And he has this other prism going out that ends up doing tons of work the whole game, right? This prism comes in, starts warping in some ladies. Ladies start ruining the SCV's day. Okay, these ones I think came in off of the proxy pylon, right? But if we keep watching the mini map, right? Taking a look down here, pretty quickly here, our proxy pylon gets killed. K2silver's like, well, no problem. I got a prism. I'm gonna ruin your day. Now, still got this one just chilling. Got this one just chilling, but this one's gonna do some stuff, right? Here it is. It's coming. Warming up. As soon as we get a reprieve back home where the fighting's happening, boom. All right, so we've repelled the push at home. For now-ish, we've repelled it with this. And we're starting to warp in some ladies. Oh, some bros. We're starting to warp in some bros. The bros are just going to go to town, right? The workers get pulled, whatever. We're doing work. And this prism does work all game. This one's just taking a coffee break. It's just hanging out in the jungle lounge up here, just chilling. And this could definitely be an observer that could be camped out. Hell, even in the jungle lounge, it could have just been here, right? Right at the front, on high ground, where it's probably not going to get scanned. We watch the move outs. It could be somewhere like here, where we're kind of in the drop path. I think that is pretty big, and the pylon placements are pretty big. If we just want to say, I'm going to play the defensive game, I'm going to shut down this BS. I think in terms of like the actual fighting, K2silver does a great job. Like, this is really aggressive. It's really in your face, really disruptive to your plan. And the holds in this game are great. Like, there are so many moments in this game where the supplies are super close and we're ahead in workers, and things are actually, like, all things considered, going pretty great. The mothership core positioning, originally, it is here. Let me see if I can show you. So the core gets made, and I believe there's an overcharge here to defend. Yeah, to defend the Reaper early in the game, and then K2silver moves it here, and I don't like this placement. So the only argument I could make for this placement is that you're getting a little bit of extra vision here, but I don't think that that's compelling enough to have it away from your pylons. And I also don't think that it, being closer to the front of the natural is really meaningful. I think if we want to defend our natural, we could park her right here and be like, all right, we're at the main, we're defending the main, but if we need to pull her to the natural, she's pretty close. And I don't think that this lateral distance is that big of a deal for that. So we get our pylon at the front eventually. We have the Mama core here, and if we need to cry for Mama at the front of the nat, then we can do that. So I would like to see, like I said, triangle of love pylons here, right? It doesn't have to be the first three, right? A lot of people like to take the one here at the front of the natural for defending stuff like cyclone bushes or whatever. I mean, we, I guess, have the information to know. Oh, do we have the information? Let's see. Maybe we don't, right? I guess we kind of do, because we scouted the double barracks, right? But regardless, right, having that pylon in the front is kind of nice for defending. So, maybe it's our fourth pylon or whatever. I actually, I used to set up this way with the pylon on either side initially as my first two pylons, because it's a lot easier to build stuff. But lately I've been favoring doing this pylon and then the one in the back, because if I forget, or if, I just, for whatever reason, need to put pylons elsewhere, I think having 1 and 1 is better than the one on either side. I could be wrong about that. That's just kind of what I've been liking lately. And then I like the Mama core being parked right over the mineral line. I forget who told me that, but somebody was giving me a little bit of advice and coaching and said, look, because I used to do this exact thing. They said, your Mama core is not doing you any good out there. Like, you want it in range of your pylons. You don't want to click her, hit F, click this, and then have her moving really slowly, accelerating, and then the overcharge hit. So you want instant overcharge when you decide you need it. So our first solution was, we're just going to make more probes and whatever about defending. The second one is, okay, what things can we do to set up our defense a little bit better? The only other thing that I forgot to say is, when I do this with kind of the Mama core in the main, you gotta kind of have your army in the other spot, right? So it's like Mama core is defending the main. And then what I did when I was gold, and this might not work anymore for K2silver, is I would have a 3-stalker squad on a separate hotkey right here, just right in the back of my other base. And then I'd have my army kind of out front or on the map or wherever it is, right? And that seemed to kind of be pretty good. Like, the 3 stalkers can beat a lib. They can put some pressure on medevacs that are trying to drop. And the Mama core can kind of hold it down up here, and it gives you enough time to sort of pull the army to wherever you need it to be. So that's kind of our second solution. Our third solution is a lot more specific. Remember, we're going from very broad applicable solutions to every matchup to, what things can we do specifically against Terran, specifically against this style of play. And so with that, what I think is it feels in this game to me like we had a plan, right? Our plan is, when I get Glaive Adepts, I'm going to have a proxy pylon, I'm going to just ram Adepts down my opponent's throat until he has no workers and he's dead, right? And that's a totally cool plan. The problem is that our opponent had a plan too, and their plan hits before ours does. Now, I am not going to be able to give great advice on how to do this, just because this isn't my playstyle to do this kind of thing, particularly not my playstyle in PvT. I know a lot of people favor like Oracle openings to pressure Terran before they get to this, right? I don't know, maybe there's some kind of weird proxy gate thing that you could do, but I think people proxy robos, whatever. You have to figure out, from somebody who knows better than me, how to do it, but whatever it is, it needs to hit before this 5-minute move out by Terran, right? So we can either shift our game faster and more aggressive, or we can say, all right, this plan is going to take too long against Terrans at my level, right? My glaives aren't done, my gate explosion hasn't happened yet, and they're already pushing me, right? They're gonna be here in a second, and when they get there, I'm just still building stuff, right? Like, they're gonna arrive, check the minimap, right? The move out is happening, and we're building more gateways. We're building more gateways, and what we really want is for more of these to be finished, and for more of this money to be stuff, right? Because we've got the warp in, right? We got the warp in here. We don't even have this done. We don't have this done. We're like making so much infrastructure that we just can't afford to use. Like, we need these 3 gates to have been warping in stalkers or adepts or something. So basically we either have to get more aggressive or we have to kick it more defensive. One thing that I didn't see this whole game is a forge, right? So we take our glaives, and I believe we get charged at some point. I could be wrong about that. Let's go through here. Go ahead and just keep watching Silver Fox's vision. We can kind of see we're just getting pulled around, just having a terrible time, right? Okay, here's that lib that I was talking about, right? And we end up pushing it out, but there's a lot of disrupting of our plan happening, right? Let's see, I guess we never do get charge. Let's see, can we just seek a little further in? So I think another solution here is to just say, we're not going to do this plan. This plan doesn't hit soon enough. So instead, let's be more defensive, right? We're going to get fewer gateways up front, but we're going to make sure that we warp in off of them. And we are going to make sure that we have some kind of edge, whether that is teching quicker, whether it is being ahead on our upgrades. Okay, we did get charged. I remembered it right. Okay. Yeah, so whether it is, okay, we're going to get forges, we're going to make sure that we are ahead on upgrades compared to the opponent, or, we're gonna get our blink and our charge really fast, or we're gonna tech to Colossus really fast, whatever it is, right? We're gonna make sure we're up on bases, etc. So we can do that instead and make sure that we have our warp-ins of units and stuff, and also kind of some elements of the previous solution, right? Some information and stuff. So those are kind of just the things that I see, right? This is just a frustrating playstyle, but I think the best that we can do is acknowledge that we have a lot of ways of getting better and improving out of dying to this, right? And that we can pick each day what we want that to be like, right? Now, the problem, of course, is as soon as we improve out of losing to this level of Terran play, we are going to face better Terrans who are better at multitasking and better at dropping, right? So this is always just going to be for the style of player that I am, and the style of player that it seems like K2silver is, in terms of what we're good at and what we like. This is always going to be a bit frustrating to play against, because you just feel like you're on the back foot, you're getting pulled around. And I mean, I guess the best that I can say is, it's not every Terran and it's not every matchup, right? There are matchups where you can be the aggressor as Toss if you want to be, and it's kind of just sort of a piece of the game, right? But I guess the cool thing is you can almost treat it like the opponent is helping you, like prodding you into improving yourself along these different axes, right? They're putting in the work to get good enough at this type of multitasking to pressure you to the point where you can't even handle it, right? And if that person didn't exist, that annoying ass Terran, if they weren't there, right, you would have improved to the point where you're the best PvT or TVP person in the game, and it's just kind of boring, right? So that's kind of, I guess, the best I could think about this. I know K2silver has mentioned to me before, like, and even in the other replay, that he gets pissed, he gets frustrated, and it's something that he's trying to not do. He actually sent me 2 replays, but the PVC that he sent me, I looked at it and I'm like, okay, 1, you won this game. 2, this game is nothing but you like holding these catastrophically bad situations over and over and over again, like at least as well as I could hold them. So I don't know how I'm going to advise you about this. I mean, the only flaw that I saw as a common thread between that game and this game is the same thing that I pointed out about myself, of like this downtime in the next eye. Well, okay, just only this one. Downtime in the next eye while you're dealing with, crises. But again, like that happens to everybody. It's just a avenue of improvement. So, yeah, I mean, I think, some of it's mindset of just appreciating the opponent as somebody who is pushing you to a higher echelon of play. And some of it's just realizing that, okay, not every game you play, you're going to have to fight this. And then I guess just learning some of these strategies that help you shut it down, because damn, it feels good to wreck this style of play, man. When they come in with their medevacs and you've got like some stalkers and you overcharge and it just gets completely shut down and they lose a ton of army, like, it feels so great. So those are my thoughts. Hopefully that helps somebody out. Hopefully K2silver and I can learn enough to beat this style of play out of these damn Terrans and just shut them down. Alright guys, thanks for watching, and please make sure to do all that like, follow type social media stuff. I hate to be a shill, but it really does help. Really keeps me fueled up, feeling validated and good. So I will catch you next time. Take care.